Welcome everyone to SQW 39, EliMEHnation Chamber. Dally goes for the Vince McMahon intros. I'm going for the Tony Schiavone. This is the greatest podcast in the history of our industry. I am your host today. I am JJ, and we got John over there. How you doing, John?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad we got a chance to put this little bite-sized show together, just so we can get some content out there. Content's important, consistency, all that kind of fun stuff. So
this is a Thursday Night Thunder compared to our usual Monday Nitro.
I was thinking Saturday night, but you know,
Saturday night's more for when we just end up doing our own solo shows, I think.
Fair enough.
Our buddy Dally can't be with us today. Family stuff and busy, so it's just me and John.
Yeah.
So, and we figured there's a pay-per-view in just a couple of hours.
Yeah, like 2 hours or so. Well.
Yeah, who knows anymore? I'm gonna miss the first stretch of it because I'm going to go see Black Panther for the second time.
You know, that's probably a wiser decision.
I will have more fun watching that than 90% of this card, I feel. So, but I feel like we're not going to bother with news. There's nothing really particularly interesting to talk about, unless you just want to talk about how crazy and insane it is that Jeff Jarrett is getting nominated or inducted into the Hall of Fame in WWE, because that is bananas.
We can touch it for a second, but it is weird, and it's considering his history and who in most recent times he's been with, like with the GFW, all that kind of fun stuff, and the TNA stuff. But I keep going back to the thinking that WWE is the company who inducted Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
Not Scott Hall.
Not Scott Hall. Razor Ramon.
So they're probably could they be inducting Double J?
Yeah. Because like they are going to do that thing with like Sting where they're going to pretend that his career ended when WCW closed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, he is still actively an owner of a wrestling promotion. Like, GFW isn't shut down. Like, it is still a company. Up until just recently, TNA was still using their belts on TV.
Exactly. It's super weird. It's super weird.
Yeah, and considering they've had bad blood, WWE and Jeff Jarrett have had bad blood for a very long time. Like, they don't, like, this is the first time they've mentioned him, like, just in passing, even, and like, since he left. Like, that last Nitro was the last time Jeff Jarrett's name was ever mentioned.
Yeah, and they poked fun of the fact that they were going to fire him. Like,
that was that was the whole thing with Jeff Jarrett. Like, Vince, So that's.
But as far as the career of Double J goes, he, IC champ, tag champ, European champ, former WCW champ, that kind of stuff. If you are to incorporate WCW history with the WWE, Double J did win the WCW championship.
He had that big gold belt around his waist several times. So
there's some levels that I can see. If we're inducting Double J, I get it.
Yeah,
Jeff Jarrett, I don't know.
I feel like they should induct his dad before they induct him. Like, Jerry Jarrett was an important promoter throughout history, but whatever. I never liked Jeff Jarrett, despite having the exact same nickname.
True. I have to admit, I can't say that I was ever a big Double J supporter in my lifetime either. But I recognize that how much faith they had in him, despite all the screwing around he did, like ducking out and coming back and doing it again, and
WCW was the most I ever enjoyed him, and I didn't even enjoy him that much there. Like, when he was just a complete jerk. That was his gimmick. Like, he was just a complete and total jerk. And there's the TNA stuff, like him and Kurt Angle being in the same building again is going to be weird. I feel
it is a little weird, yeah.
So in case nobody knows that story, there was a bit of love triangle going on between Jarrett, Angle, and Angle's then wife. So
yeah, and who's Angle's now wife?
Yeah, Jarrett's, because it's Karen Jarrett.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Yeah. Jeff's now wife. Yeah. Sorry.
I can't remember. I got it backwards. I can't remember. You may be right. I may be wrong. Who knows? I can't remember. It was a weird. I didn't watch. I just TNA has always been tangentially off into the corner. Like I've watched plenty of it, but I've never really
retained any of it.
Yeah, none of it's ever storyline wise. None of it's ever been retained. Like there's a lot of great matches, Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe's and things like that. But storylines, I only remember like one storyline. It was when Kevin Nash and was Alex Shelley were like the paparazzi, like kind of stuff. They were filming everything, and Kevin Nash was beating up all the X Division guys. That's sort of
right.
And the broken Matt Hardy stuff. That's not the.
Yeah, for me, TNA exists in a vacuum, like matches in a vacuum, angles in a vacuum.
Yeah.
When you try to get some sense of continuity, forget about it. Like it's just not worth it. Like, don't promote yourself.
They have a Twitch channel up now. And
they do, yeah.
It's just always running, and I just find myself, I'll boot up Twitch and I'll see, TNA's on. I'll just go see what they got going on now, and it's always a crapshoot. You never know what you're like. If you're gonna get something good or get something bad. Like I turned it on last night, and it was the crossover pay-per-view or one night only show they did a couple years ago with Wrestle One Japan. So. Okay. So it was like the match that was on when I turned it was Abyss versus Takayama, which like
wow, okay, sure, okay.
Yeah, and Great Muta was on the card like twice. Like it was like this crazy. Like okay, sure, this is fun. But then like the very next thing will be like the Asylum Years TNA, and you're just like, nope, not gonna watch the Ding Dongs wrestle or something. Like
no,
the Johnsons. That's what.
Oh. The Ding Dongs were someone else. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the same exact gimmick, different. But okay, we've badmouthed TNA enough. I think it's time to actually get what we came here for and talk about the Elimination Chamber coming up in just a couple of hours, as we said. It's a small card, but because you have two massive matches, that'll probably be 45 minutes apiece anyways. So. I'll just start with the dark matches and just go right down the list. You want to do? Ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm just retweeting our tweet just to say that people know that we're doing some Elimination Chamber predictions. Any idea what the special hashtag is for the Chamber event? Is it Elimination Chamber or is it WWE Elimination Chamber? I wonder.
It's usually just the name of the event for them usually, so it'll probably just be Elimination Chamber.
I'm just going to put that out there. This is bad radio, of course. I'm sorry, but I could have done this before. But unfortunately, this doesn't go up until we start broadcasting. So
you get a little. Nobody likes to see how the sausage is made, but sometimes you just have to deal with it.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
All right, so we're going to start with the dark match. Out the gate, you're going to have. Gallows and Anderson versus the Miz Taraj, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. That's the kickoff show match.
Yeah,
that's just kind of put together match.
It's a match. It's a match for the sake of a match. Yeah. This match it's here. I can't help but look toward WrestleMania and how we're going to get a lot of guys on this one card, because there are a lot of guys and gals and a lot of potential matches. Yeah. And logically, I think the full club with Finn, involved against the Miz Taraj with Miz as a 6-man tag makes a lot of sense. To bring a few bodies into one match. Well, I'm surprised this is happening here, but that doesn't mean anything really. Yeah,
but I mean, it's it's not the 6-man tag that we're expecting it to be, so that we expect the WrestleMania match to be really.
Yeah,
this is just the stopgap before, because Finn's tied up, and so
that's right.
And that's why it's the pre-show, because you're either gonna have that 6-man tag, or they're gonna do some sort of weird tag team ladder match again for the championship, because I think that's sort of popular kind of that kind of big multi-man tag team things a good way to get a lot of faces onto the card, you know. It worked very well last year, even though what made it work so well was the Hardys' return. But
yeah, that's true.
But I mean, like I just assume Gallows and Anderson are just gonna because it's a nothing match, and
yeah, I just don't see Bo and Axel getting a win on their own.
Yeah, if this were on the main card, I can see like shenanigans happening in the match and stuff. And
yeah, unless we get some revival interference here, but
yeah,
maybe they might catch a win. But I'm gonna go with Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah, I mean that just makes the most sense to me too. It's Gallows and Anderson. But I don't even think we're necessarily we're not doing our usual championship match stuff here. I think we're just I think we're just doing predictions because this is a grudge match. We'll see who wins, but there's probably a good chance that it'll be a tie, or we're gonna go down the line and agree on pretty much most of this stuff, anyways.
Yeah, so, I might call this pay-per-view Exhibition Chamber, but that might mean something else. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we both agree. Gallows and Anderson probably gonna walk off with that one. Now we're gonna get to the main card. This has it listed as probably the first match out of the gate, and I actually probably believe that. the men's Elimination Chamber.
You think that'll be first?
They did it, but well, they always put out when they have two chambers on one card. They always start it and end it with a chamber.
Oh, the bookend, yeah.
Yeah, and because it's the first women's Elimination Chamber, and they just like how the women's Royal Rumble.
The Rumble, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so you have the men's chamber listed here for it's for the number one contendership for the Universal Championship. So it's non-title.
Have they announced how they're going to handle the extra person? Will it be a triple threat to start?
I didn't see anything. I don't remember hearing anything.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything either.
Yeah, I just assume it's going to start off as a triple threat. That makes the most sense. It's like they're not going to build another chamber and then have an empty pod.
Yeah, or maybe they can attach a shark cage to the top of the chamber.
You get lowered through the hole when it's your turn at the top of the chamber. That would actually be really fun. So that's why it won't happen.
Yeah, it won't happen.
But yeah, so it's Braun Strowman, Elias, Finn Balor, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and The Miz.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all can agree where the easy money is in this prediction.
If you were a betting man and just you didn't want to lose too much money on your bet, Roman Reigns is the way to go. Like since last WrestleMania, they've been talking about Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the championship to main event WrestleMania, and that just I am 100% positive Roman Reigns is going to end up in that championship match. Whether it be he wins this or not, you never know. I mean, there could be shenanigans in this kind of match or something.
Fair enough. Yeah, there is like 6 weeks away or something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
But I am almost. I couldn't. It's the only thing I feel confident about. There's like this and the one more match in the card that I feel confident about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go with Roman. I'm in agreement that Roman is our guy. Now let's just to make this interesting. Who's our number 2 pick?
Yeah.
If Roman slips on the banana peel and does not win this, because there's a couple of guys who are pretty good number 2 picks.
Like Braun, obviously, like a top contender. Like if Roman's not going to win it, Braun will.
Now, Braun's only problem with me is that I think that the Braun-Brock match has already been done too many times.
But we've done Roman Brock at WrestleMania before,
right? But that match didn't happen a month ago.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like Braun had the 3-way with Kane in there, and because the sad thing about it is that Braun is ready. Like Braun is no bigger a babyface before than he is right now. Like after the Big Smash Challenge stuff and the thing with Elias with the big bass, like all that stuff, he's just softened enough. He's ripe enough now to be your top babyface. And
I am very glad that he is 100% following the Steve Austin trajectory,
yeah,
where
yeah.
he is ready, but they're not quite handing it to him yet. Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a big deal when he inevitably gets it, especially since they've built him up as like people are into him now. Everyone is like, whatever. It's Braun Strowman. He was the Wyatt guy when they needed a new Wyatt guy, but
So do you?
now it's like
So do you?
the way they have built him has been absolutely perfect.
Okay, we're delving a little deep into WrestleMania booking here, but
Yeah,
so that would by the Austin trajectory, that would mean that his WrestleMania 13 match should be his Austin versus Brett equivalent.
yeah,
Like, so his
yeah.
best match of his carear should be this year against somebody.
Somebody
I
who
don't
that
know who that
somebody
is.
is.
I
I
don't know who
can't
that
tell
is.
you. Yeah, there was. I've heard speculation that they're thinking about doing an intercontinental match with him,
Yeah.
but like, can he have a 4 or 5 star match with the
Oh.
Miz? Can Braun Strowman have that kind of match? The Miz is a solid worker, and I really like the Miz, but he is
Mm-hmm.
not. He is a perpetual 3 star match guy.
Yeah.
Like, and that's fine. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I'm not even calling the Miz bad. I'm just saying he puts on perfectly good WWE wrestling matches.
Yeah, God love the Miz, but
Yeah,
to watch Braun squash the Miz is not
yeah,
something that's gonna go,
yeah,
oh my gosh, what a moment. Like that's,
yeah.
he needs a moment here that just propels him to the stratosphere.
Like, like something like a Braun Strowman versus John Cena would be a hell of a like WrestleMania match.
It would be
Like
actually, yeah, yeah, that's a good point. That would be a pretty good one.
yeah, because John Cena's big, he could take a beating and
Yep.
look good doing it. He can make when he's um when he's like motivated against an opponent, like he can really bring the heat. And I feel like that match, like, because it would be like John Cena would be like the Bret Hart in this situation where he's the guy,
The
like
veteran, yeah.
the veteran that's going up against the up and
Hmm.
comer guy that's
Yeah.
that would be the ideal match. And I have no idea what they have for John Cena. We keep
Well,
hearing Undertaker,
yeah,
but I don't feel that anymore, and I don't
yeah.
feel like
Well, if
that's
it's the rumor of it being Undertaker kind of takes John out of being my number 2 pick here.
yeah.
So if it's not Braun, I think Seth, based on that gauntlet thing he did last week, like,
Yeah.
that was a real anointing at that thing, that to be a top main event guy again.
Yeah. Now, I feel like after WrestleMania, inevitably they're going to do the draft again or whatever, the superstar shakeup and all that stuff.
Shuffle, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Seth is SmackDown bound.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
He could do well as top guy on SmackDown.
Yeah, and I mean, especially since
in that mix with Nakamura and AJ, like that would be pretty decent actually.
Yeah, and what like AJ is kind of like he's great as like you could put him in any role, heel or face, and it's fine.
Yeah.
But so SmackDown is hurting for heels and stuff. I don't know how it's
a lot of stuff actually.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Yeah, audience members in the arenas. So, like outside of AJ versus Nakamura, I mean, like that's the one match that they have, and like Nakamura hasn't even really been on TV. Like,
no, they're trying to keep them special, I guess, but they're working dark matches and these kinds of crazy things.
And the mixed thing with Natalia.
Well, they had one match and lost.
Yeah, but they have that second shot thing, so
they're not going to get that. That's going to be someone who's far more entertaining.
Yeah. But yeah. So I mean, my second choice is Braun, obviously, but Seth is a good choice. Like Finn, like based on our fantasy booking, we really don't see Finn.
No.
Like,
but I would call him a wild card. I would call him a wild card, but
yeah. Like the Finn and the Finn and the Miz, that was like those guys. You wouldn't feel bad if either of them won. Like the Miz is not going to put on a show against Brock Lesnar. Like
no,
plain and simple at this point. But so the Miz doesn't really hold much of a chance, and he's not a WrestleMania like main event kind of guy in his career. Like he had the one WrestleMania main event that was perfect timing, and it was the right time for him to be in that WrestleMania main event. And like, but nowadays, The Miz is Razor Ramon or Mr. Perfect. Like I want him as the Intercontinental Champion guy. That's his spot in life, and he's really, really, really good at being that spot. And there's nothing wrong with that. I kind of like I don't need him in that championship, like the big title picture, because there are plenty of bigger names in that picture that like the Miz will just always sort of fall behind, and you'll never really feel it and stuff. But and they need that sort of role, that workhorse of the Miz doing the Intercontinental, making the Intercontinental Championship always be something, because the Miz will be champion or be fighting for the championship, or you know, helping put over the next person in line for the championship or whatever. Like that's the perfect spot for him where he's at right now, and I'm happy with him there. So no, I don't want to see him at WrestleMania versus Brock Lesnar.
No.
And even Finn versus Brock Lesnar seems like Finn is super small. Like he looks like a child when they put him next to like Braun Strowman and stuff. It's always super jarring. Despite being a phenomenal wrestler, he is really, really small.
Yeah. I find if anything for Finn, it would at least be a fresh matchup.
Yeah. At least you got that. Yeah.
But you know, so I'm agreeing with you. Then Braun is number 2.
Yeah. So, okay. Next up, we have an Elimination Chamber championship match for the women's championship.
Yeah.
So
this is an interesting one for, again, Mania implications.
Yeah, you got Alexa Bliss as the champion versus Bayley versus Mandy Rose versus Mickie James versus Sasha Banks versus Sonya Deville. I have no idea. Like I feel this could go like there's Alexa Bliss has proven me wrong every single time I voted against her.
Yeah, true. True.
I think she's always going to lose that championship and never does. So, Bayley, she had her WrestleMania moment last year with the championship and stuff. And she's always going to be a contender for that championship. It could very easily always go to her. Mandy Rose, okay, I don't have an opinion of Mandy Rose yet.
I same thing with Sonya. I think it's just too early.
Exactly.
Just too early. Yeah.
It's like I don't have an opinion of either of those two yet. Like those are the two sort of, for the lack of a better term, rookies still.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I just I don't know how they're gonna fit in. Like, are they ready to go to WrestleMania as champion? So is that what you're telling me? So really, it's a match between Bliss, Bayley, James, and Banks, and that person is going to wrestle Asuka at WrestleMania. Like, because Asuka
maybe because Asuka still has not chosen her champion to face.
But because the stipulation to the Asuka match that's coming up,
it doesn't matter. They've said so. That
but that means you're going to move 2 women to SmackDown.
Well, yeah, true.
just for the sake of doing it. Well,
the thing is, they're not going to move 2 women to SmackDown because Nia's not going to win. But but the implication being there. But I think that's it's weird because Asuka probably should be on SmackDown. All things when you take everything into consideration, you're gonna the Raw women's brand is going to be absolutely taken over starting tonight, because tonight is the night where they have Ronda Rousey sign her contract. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so from this moment forward, Raw is going to be all about Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Period.
Get Asuka out. Yeah,
get Asuka away from Ronda Rousey, but you have to keep Ronda Rousey with Stephanie McMahon.
Yep.
So, because that's going to be the storyline, 100%. That's going to be the storyline. So Asuka on SmackDown makes the absolute most sense. So And I wouldn't be surprised if that's like we're not really basing this championship match on who's going to face Asuka.
No.
You're right. You're right on that. But is the person who wins this going to wrestle Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania?
No, I'm with you on the Stephanie thing. Like,
yeah,
I don't think there's any chance that Ronda faces any of these people at WrestleMania. I think she's going to face Stephanie in some sort of a tag match or whatever, which is fine. I mean, they can just do that to introduce her. But
yeah, it's such a bad idea because you read stories and stuff, and they want this to be the sort of like Stone Cold Vince McMahon for women sort of situation.
Oh, except no.
Yeah, except that's a very bad idea. B, going about it the exact opposite way of how that worked, because they want to make it seem like, because it's going to be like the Mike Tyson moment for Vince McMahon and stuff. But it's like, the problem is Mike Tyson and Steve Austin weren't the same person. So,
no, exactly.
Ronda Rousey is the Mike Tyson in this situation, but they also wanted to be the Steve Austin in this situation. And the first match out of the gate wasn't Vince McMahon versus Steve Austin in this feud.
No, exactly. Exactly.
So I hope I would much rather have it be just like a match, like a Ronda, but I understand why that's not going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you don't want the rookie match to show all of the faults in this person out the gate. Like, she's already had her big debut on the brand where she was terrible at just standing there pointing at a sign. We don't know how she is on the microphone.
No,
we know how she is as a fighter, but that doesn't as always translate to being a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's you have to have a tag match in this situation. It has to be, you have to treat her like a celebrity, not a wrestler out the gate. Yeah. Even though she is a wrestler now, like that's her deal.
You have to acclimatize her and the audience into buying her as a regular full-time worker. I mean, there's no way that you can have her go into a championship match on her first thing at WrestleMania. Like, it just will deflate the entire thing.
Yeah, but with all of that being said, who wins the women's
to the prediction?
Yeah. Who wins that match? Like, honestly, it's between Bliss, Bayley, and Banks. I don't see Mickie James winning the championship.
No, I don't see Mickie. I think Sasha and Bayley are going to have their own little thing to deal with on their own.
But like having that be a championship thing, wouldn't it be bad?
No, exactly. So like you say, it's between the three of them. If Alexa retains, she's going to be facing. I think Nia is probably the most likely choice for her. At least there's a background there that they can play off of.
Yeah, I think whoever wins this fights Nia Jax for the Raw brand at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
like if the way our booking plays out. Like if Asuka is gonna challenge, probably Charlotte. Like I would. Yeah. My guess is Charlotte Flair. On the SmackDown side, then whoever wins this fights Nia Jax, and any three of those is a decent women's match against Nia Jax. So
yeah, because I think Sasha and Bayley have some sort of a feud coming, whether that's whoever is the heel in that situation.
Yeah.
If it's for the title, it's not that bad of an idea either. But what does Alexa do then? Like, where does she go? Where does she filter away to?
Yeah.
She's been champ now for quite a while, and like she gets one of the biggest pops or reactions when she comes out. So I don't think you can deny her a spot on the WrestleMania card or a subpar spot.
Now, ideally, the Ronda Rousey tag team match that we're predicting will happen should be with 4 women. It shouldn't be a mixed tag. It shouldn't be Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus
fair enough.
Rousey and whoever Rousey picks to be her male counterpart. Like, that's a bad match. Like, it should be like, it would be cool to have Stephanie pick her enforcer kind of role, like versus Ronda Rousey and whoever, Alexa, like Stephanie and Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey and Who? I don't know, but
I don't know. Well, I mean, you're just spitballing now, but
yeah,
I mean, I don't know if I would pick Alexa Bliss to be my partner. She's only as high as, you know, if I'm Stephanie, she's about as tall as my elbow.
yeah.
You know, it's not. I don't know.
But that's the problem with the fantasy working this division, is because they have nobody. They have a very small division. Like,
Yeah,
like
it's very limited.
You know, like would Stephanie or not Ronda Rousey bring in like what's her name? Her friend that was in the
Shayna Baszler?
Yeah, or something like another green wrestler to make it look good. Yeah, but no, there's a lot of women in the division, because like you do have like the Riot Squad and all that stuff going on. And they, you know, there's a lot of women that aren't going to have a whole lot to do. It could just be as easily as a multi-person match for the championship at WrestleMania. Like you get.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the default answer in most cases for WrestleMania, is just put them all on the card, and you know.
But like the SmackDown Championship will be 1-on-1. Whereas the Raw Women's Championship will be a multi-person event, and then you're gonna have Ronda Rousey doing whatever she does on that card or whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna say, let's just, you know what? Yeah, boy, I have no idea.
I'm gonna go Alexa Bliss retains, because I'm gonna default to my old logic of, you know, heel champs don't lose multi-person matches. So
yeah, that's a safe bet. I just feel like Alexa Bliss has proved me wrong every single time. So, like, I feel like if it's not Alexa Bliss, it's Sasha Banks.
Yeah, well, that's the I would agree 100%.
Yeah, like that will be the start of her heel turn, because Sasha Banks is always on the verge of being the boss again, like being that character, that heel character that she is very, very good at doing. Like,
like.
So
maybe she would take out Bayley just to get the title, or cheat her out of a win, or something.
Have Bayley hit her Bayley to belly, and then just pin the person afterwards, and then pin Bayley immediately after that, or some nonsense. Just to really just sort of start to make something that they always do with heel turns, and have it be make it look like it was just friendly competition or something, but you know,
with a little extra stink on there.
Yeah. All right, so we agree on that. Alexa Bliss probably winning. Sasha Banks, if it's not Alexa, it's going to be Sasha. Next match, Asuka versus Nia Jax. If Nia Jax wins, she's added to Asuka's championship match, and the winner is going to be Asuka. So there's no way to talk. No reason to talk about this. Like,
no,
they're not going to. That'd be. The WWE way of booking would be have Asuka lose her first ever match, the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, her biggest match.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah,
that's your lock of the week.
Yeah, that is your shoe-in for the week, since you go giant shoe on the.
Your Asuka lock of the week.
Yeah. Then we have Woken Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt.
Boy, oh boy.
This has been an absolute miserable feud from which they had that toss out Raw 25 match where it was just a clean loss on Matt Hardy's behalf, just out of nowhere. Just here's the match we've been building up to, and he loses. So, yay!
Yeah.
and now here's the pay-per-view version of said match. Bray Wyatt doesn't win pay-per-views. So,
no, he does not.
So Matt Hardy's gonna win this.
Yeah, I don't know what they've been doing with this feud. Like, it's just been so much on the periphery and barely acknowledged.
I feel like at this point we're just coasting until Jeff Hardy's back, and they can start the broken feud legit, like the broken universe stuff legitimately. Hopefully, like because Jeff Hardy's almost back. I guess it sounds like.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like because that would be like the WWE feud of broken Matt Hardy versus his brother is kind of, I mean, that's interesting enough to coast by for a couple of pay-per-views. And but
is it? I hope so.
I mean, one would hope, but like they just like, you know, because they just got Borash, right? Didn't WWE just hire? And he was heavily involved in all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now they're not. Now they're saying he's not going to be involved in that stuff, but I feel like if Matt Hardy said, "Can I borrow him for a little while, they would just say, all right, whatever.
Yeah. The biggest thing they need to add to that feud, if it's going to continue beyond this show, is any kind of context at all. Because as random and silly and crazy as the broken stuff was in TNA, at least there was some direction. Like there was a story.
There was a universe and storyline going on in the background of everything. If there wasn't a match going on, you had pre-taped segments going on from the Hardy compound or that. Like it shows how fundamentally WWE doesn't understand it by not having a single sort of like anything come back. Like
no,
Matt Hardy owns it. Like you should see the drone pop up. You should have seen your Benjamin. There's something. You should have something like him prepping for the match at his house or something, like anything to sort of link it to that.
But it's not even just to have the drone pop up or Senior Benjamin just pop up. Like they were doing something. There was a direction. Like everything was leading to Final Deletion. Everything was leading to the one with the makeup people.
With the Abyss and gang.
Yeah. What was the name of their faction? Decay. It was leading up to the thing with Decay. Like. And it didn't even need to have to be at the compound, but at least there was a direction.
Yeah.
They're just throwing these Woken, Matt, and Bray matches for no reason out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
laughing
at each other, saying nothing. Like there's no context to follow.
Yeah. What made the Broken Universe stuff work so well is that it was just that it was a universe. There was always something happening, even if it was very rarely about a wrestling match. Like
well, exactly. Yeah.
Like the first time like you saw that the contract signing between Matt and Jeff, it was the craziest thing you'd ever seen, and it made you want to watch. Like, what the hell are they even doing? Like, what is this? But it's missing that heart, and I'm sure Matt Hardy is pulling for that constantly at this point. Like, and especially now that it's all taken care of and he owns that stuff outright.
Yeah.
But they've already established this feud before he got that stuff back. And now Jeff Jarrett's there, which is fun, since apparently it was all his fault that he didn't have it in the first place. But Matt Hardy's going to win that because Bray doesn't win pay-per-views. Just like how heels don't win multi-man matches. Bray Wyatt doesn't win. And last match, which certainly isn't the main event, even though it's listed last on this Wikipedia article. The champions, Cesaro and Sheamus, versus Titus Worldwide, the recently rebranded Apollo Sands Crews, and Titus O'Neil. So, I would not be surprised to see Titus Worldwide win this match. Like,
and win the championship?
Yeah, they've been really pushing this team. Like I'm not saying they are. I think Cesaro and Sheamus are going to win, but
so on this prediction, we've agreed on all the other matches. So this will be the tiebreaker. So who are you picking?
I'm gonna pick Cesaro and Sheamus.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go Titus for a minute. Okay, I will go. I will go Titus Worldwide just for the sake of a tiebreaker.
Just for the sake, just so somebody wins this.
Somebody wins this exhibition match.
Yeah, this is just a grudge match. No disqualification. No countouts. No pin. No rope breaks. It's like a video game wrestling match. You just custom rules match where you turn on.
This is an inferno match just for the hell of
it. KOs are turned on. Titus Worldwide winning would not surprise me at all. Because they did the same thing last year. Like the tag team championship switched hands like just before WrestleMania. Because the club ended up winning the tag team championships, like really just like a couple of weeks before the pay-per-view or something. Like
that's right.
Maybe even a week or so. I can't remember the exact timeline because it's been a mess, but and who knows what the tag team's picture is going to look like coming up for WrestleMania. It could be a multi-man match again, probably will be, because you have Titus Worldwide, you have Cesaro and Sheamus, you have a returning Revival, you have you have a lot going on tag team wise with nothing to do. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that wouldn't surprise me to have either of those teams, because it doesn't matter who wins that, really. I mean,
no, it means nothing.
Yeah, it's the tag team. Like, they've got good tag teams going on now, which is surprising. Like, despite there really being nothing going on in the division, they have pretty decent teams at this point. Like, and actually, like, teams. Unfortunately, they're split across two brands, but
yeah, that's right.
They have some interesting tag teams going on, and Titus Worldwide is working for what it is. I liked Titus more in the managerial role, as like the Don King promoter role, where it was like he was he got Tozawa and he's got
that's
Titus
right.
and stuff. That was a much better gimmick for him, but yeah, okay, whatever. Just Titus Worldwide with Dana Brooke as the Terry Runnels role from the I forget what that team was called now. I remember what the team was called. What the hell? The WCW team with Terry Runnels.
The York Foundation.
The York Foundation, yeah, it's just York Foundation. Yeah, it's just a poor York Foundation, since they don't have IRS working for them or whatever.
No, that's right. No, VK Wall Street.
VK Wall Street. Yeah, so that's it. That is the show. I rambled a lot, and I apologize, but that's just what I do. That's how I talk when I talk about wrestling. I just kind of keep talking and talking and talking.
Yeah, I am the same way, and my wife will corroborate that point. Yeah, this seems like a pretty easy to predict show. I don't know.
I just need to point out something, because I am looking at the Wikipedia page, and there is a reference in here under the notes section that I have never seen before, and it is hilarious and terrifying. For Germany, it is feared that the name Elimination Chamber may remind people of the gas chambers used during the Holocaust. That is a note.
Yeah, I heard that once.
Okay, I just had to say that, because that's an actual note on the Wikipedia page. So so just so everyone in Germany, if for whatever reason you're in Germany, don't have to worry. Nobody is going to be killed. There's going to be no war crimes committed during this pay-per-view. It's perfectly fine. This is everything is good. So that is another SQW in the books. We are pun intended, by the way, because booking and all that stuff.
The fantasy booking,
fantasy booking of this particular but this particular one was, I'd say, 90% fantasy booking, 10% predictions.
Well, it is the season for fantasy booking, though.
Yeah, we really just need to start a sideshow that's just me and you fantasy booking wrestling at this point.
We can do it on video with a whiteboard in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, you can see over here, I've got wrestling figures all lined up if you're watching the video. So if you want Gallagher versus Strowman back here, we can do that fantasy booking wise. So, but I could just act it out. I could just have like G.I. Joes and stuff as the audience. It'd be great. I've got a ring. You can't see it, but there's a ring over here. So there's the Titantron right there. So I'm fully prepared for this fantasy booking podcast. We actually are planning on expanding the podcast a little bit, since it's hard for us to sort of get all three of us together at the same time from every once in a while. We're thinking me and John have some ideas to do. We got some solo show ideas. We got a bunch of different ideas floating around and trying to figure out the logistics of some of it and what have you. But there's going to be more content for sure coming out wrestling wise. So be on the lookout for that. I'm not saying it's going to be anytime soon, but it's going to happen. I've got a new computer set up so we can do some crazy stuff nowadays. We could start live streaming WWE wrestling games and fantasy book that way if we needed to. But yeah, stuff's gonna come.
Yeah.
More interesting stuff, more shows, more content, more for everyone. Mostly more for us, because we like to talk about wrestling a lot. So.
Yeah. the SQW content shakeup, just to mix things up a little bit and try on some new shoes.
Try some new shoes on, exactly. Lace up the boots and try on some gimmick matches. So until next time, John, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at John Kehoe, JONKEHOE.
And you can find me on Twitter at _double_J. Again, not a Jeff Jarrett reference. I can't stress that enough. It just so happens that's my real name. But we are. But
your shoot name, yeah,
it's my shoot name. And you can follow the podcast at SQW Podcast. I stopped using that account. I need to start using that account again. So start live tweeting pay-per-views or what have you. So I expect more content from even the Twitter account, I would say. So we hope to see you next week, maybe a week after. We'll see. Everyone's always so busy. Oh, well, next Sunday I am going to a comic show, so it would have to be a Saturday show if we get one.
That's right.
But so until next time, I am JJ.
And I am John. Take care.
Take care.